Hey everyone, Tom with Stronghold. As much as I believe in reaching people online today as being the greatest way to get new leads, the fact of the matter is that you can still go door to door to businesses and make great contacts and set some appointments. It still works today. Two reasons why people don't do it. The first reason is it makes you feel incredibly uncomfortable to walk into a business and try selling them something. And that's understandable. The main reason why is because you don't have a relationship with them, and we don't like it when people do it to us, and we hate the rejection. So I'm not going to waste time trying to get you over that. You're probably never going to get over that. What I do want to do is give you a method that works. But that's the first reason why people don't like to do that. It just makes you uncomfortable. You get that. The second reason why is we don't really believe it's effective. And that's not true. You could walk into businesses and be a really slick cold caller and set appointments. I've done it, and I've helped many people do it. The fact of the matter is, though, is that your conversion is going to be lower than most of us have the tolerance for if we're rejection sensitive. So what I want to give you is something that removes all that rejection sensitivity and is very effective and consistent, will make you feel good, will make them feel good, and still works. And I call it 3 levels of marketing. So I'm going to use my whiteboard here to show you what I'm talking about. All right, so level 1 and the 3 levels of marketing, or touch 1, is what I call the introduction or the brochure step. So we're just going to call it intro. And all you do in this first step is you pick a target area. So let's say it's a city. So I'm here in Pinellas County. Let's say we picked Largo, for example, or maybe you just pick a neighborhood, and you get a handful of brochures, and you pick a business center or something like that, an area where you can get to a number of businesses in a short period of time, and you just target that. So you go and spend 2 or 3 hours, and you go into every business, you introduce yourself to the person who's there, and you get their name. It's best if you can get a business card and with a name on it. Maybe they have an owner there, or just something. Just try to grab that. You hand off your brochure. You don't sell anything. Let all your conversation be, I like the decor, or it's nice to meet you. Hey, I'm Tom. What's your name? Great. Just wanted to drop this off. Just wanted to get a business card. Thanks so much. No big deal. Try to get someone's name. Try to get some sort of card or contact. Completely non-threatening. Why? There's nothing here for them to reject. They'll take your brochure. You haven't asked them any questions. You haven't tried to get past any gatekeeper. You haven't tried to do anything slick. You've just dropped off a brochure, taken something in return, been nice, made a familiar contact, got a person's name. Talk about the weather, talk about lunch, talk about whatever you want. Just be memorable. Just be nice, be kind, be non-threatening, be the person you wouldn't push away. And that's all that matters, and that's all you need in touch number 1. And you hit as many businesses as you can with that in your little area. Now here's the catch. Within 3 to 5 days tops, you're going to come back for touch number 2. And touch number 2, we had intro before. Touch number 2 is ask, or what I like to call, it's the re-engage. These are really fancy names for the steps, but it's marketing touch 1, marketing touch 2. So first, intro, no ask, nothing threatening. Just did those couple of steps. Number 2, we're going to ask a question. So now we're going to walk in, we're going to remember the person's name of who we met before, assuming they're still there. They'll remember you because you were there a couple days ago and you had some nice little conversation about the decor, or you said something funny. You can use the same joke in every place you go into. It doesn't matter. But you were memorable. You were nice. You didn't bother anybody. So you're going to come in. You're going to have that same brochure in your hand, and you're going to ask them a question. You're going to say, hey, Sally, whatever the name is. I always like to use the name Sally. Hey, Sally, it's Tom with Stronghold. You know, you may remember I was in here just a couple days ago, and I was swinging back through, and I gave you a brochure. Not sure if you gave that to anyone or not, but if so, who would you have given that to? Oh, I would have given that to the office manager, or I would have given that to the owner, or I would have given that to so-and-so. They may have placed it in the garbage can. We don't want them to feel bad about that. So what we're simply going to do is we're going to say, okay, perfect. Well, hey, look, I know that they'll probably call me if they're interested, That's what you say. You want to remove the rebuttal. Well, they'll call you if they're interested. Don't ask for contact. Just say, I'm sure they'll call me if they're interested. Wanted to give you one more brochure. I got the card for so-and-so when I was in here next. Is the best way to reach them by email or by phone or just to keep popping by? Just ask, what's the best way to reach them? I've already said I know they'll call me if they're interested. I'm not going to ask for an appointment. Just asking what the best way to reach them is. Non-threatening, being personable. It's not my first time here. And just ask those simple questions. Again, there's nothing for them to reject. Worst case scenario, they're going to say something like, well, they'll just reach out to you if they're interested. All right, I've already said that. So no big deal. But probably they'll say, go ahead and give them an email. Give them another brochure, or ask them, should I give you another brochure? And they may say, no, I already gave it to them. But most of the time, they're going to take the brochure because they threw it out. And this time, they're going to make sure they get it. Why didn't we do that on the first one and skip this step? Well, you could, but because it's your second time here, because you've done this only 3 or 4 days ago, and because you know this person's name, the delivery is going to be different because now they know you're going to be emailing, and we've actually begun to form a little bit of a bond. Hang out as long as you want and keep talking to the person, but no matter what you talk about, make it all about them. Don't ask questions about the business, except maybe how long they've worked there. I mean, you can ask about the business, but be very personable. Don't be a salesperson if you're going to continue to use this opportunity during ask phase to build a bond with this person. After step 2A, that's what that is, that's an A, we go to B, which is you're actually going to email that person, commending, using the person's name of who you met, saying, I've been in your office a couple of times, just dropping by some brochures, not sure if you had a chance to see it, talked to Sally a couple of times, and I'm excited to be able to introduce my services to you and learn a little bit more about you, and you're going to ask for a meeting. Email asking for a meeting, nice and light, letting them know you've been in a couple of times in the last couple of days. You know Sally, you've dropped off some brochures, lots of touches. Worst thing they can say? Nope. But what you're going to let them know is, I'll be back in a couple of days. If you're around, I'd like to introduce myself to you. So they may reject you here, but a rejection opens the door to the conversation. So that's perfectly fine. Couple of days later, again, we're doing all this within a 2-week period. You come back around a third time. No brochure this time. You're going to come in. Hey, Sally, I'm just back. I had sent an email to so-and-so. I'm wondering, is so-and-so available for me to talk to them now? If you haven't heard back, or if you've heard back, it's the same thing. If they say no, we attempt to set an appointment. So step 3 is to close. We know them, we've emailed them, we've dropped by 3 times, we've never been threatening, we've never asked for anything. Ideally, in this step, you're going to bring a gift. I used to call this the gift step. Bring them a cookie, bring them a candy, bring them a coupon, it doesn't matter. Bring them something nice. Usually cookies go a long way. You give the cookies to Sally, you ask if Sally's boss is available. You've already emailed him or her this past week. You've been consistent. You're not dropping by once in a blue moon. You're a regular here. You know everyone by name. You've been in multiple types of contacts, and you're asking if they're available for a conversation. If not, no worries. You're going to follow up with another email letting them know this, and now the cookies have been digested, and you're going to continue to follow up via phone and an email drip campaign. This very delicate, very, some might even call it timid, but it's a gentle, very gentle methodology is so highly effective when 2 things happen. Number 1, you've got to do it within 2 weeks. You cannot do this once a month, within 2 weeks. Number 2, you've got to know the person's name and be very personable and never ask any question that can get a denial or a rejection. That's the key to this, except I'd like to set an appointment if you're available. That's it. All they can say is no to the appointment. You don't ask any other questions, and you keep coming in. Of course, you're going to have links to your website and these things. They can check you out. At this point in time, you would want to put them in a nurture sequence to go ahead and keep sending them little drip emails more and more about you, but you've introduced yourself personally to them at this point in time. You've been by several times. To continue to email them at this point really shouldn't be spam, but you could always, of course, ask them if they'd like to receive those emails with an opt-in if you're concerned about it being spam. But if they've responded to any of your other emails, then you can go ahead and continue sending them emails. They can always unsubscribe if they want. And again, if they haven't opted into your list, go ahead and send them an email and just say, would you like to opt in for some free stuff? I'd love to send you some free stuff, and that'll ensure that you never end up on any spam list, which of course we all want to avoid and follow all the regulations too. So that is the best method I have ever trained anyone to who is nervous about cold calling but wants to be effective. If you do exactly what I said in the pattern I do it, I know you will get some great results, and I look forward to hearing about it.